Division of numbers presents its own challenges to students. When they overcome the first challenge, which is knowing whether what is required is division or not, they have yet another challenge. What is it? How to interpret division and proceed to getting the correct answer afterwards. Is division one of those instances where the assertion that minus minus is equal to plus applies? Further, students have been taught that plus and minus will give us minus, and plus plus will give us plus, while minus minus will give us plus. Do they all apply in division? Which ones apply? If they don't all apply, please follow me as I develop this lesson objective number 13, and that is how to evaluate division. Afterwards, by yourself, you can answer these basic questions I just threw to you. Please cooperate with me. In this section 13, let us learn how to evaluate division. We're going to learn how to evaluate division by use of examples. But it is good to note that division is a reverse process of multiplication. While we multiply, we bring the same number and join them. In division, we remove that same number successfully until that number from which it is being taken is finished. Therefore, division is a reverse process of multiplication. And that is why we're going to learn how to divide using a reverse process of integration of assets or liabilities. So we say to learn to evaluate division, we observe examples, those. By means of examples that follow, we perfect in our action or activity of dividing numbers by numbers. Look at this first example here, 15 over 3. What does that mean? We have once learned how to interpret division. So, even if I should interpret again, it is going to be when it becomes very, very necessary. So at this point, let us proceed first before we see a need to interpret it to get the correct answer. First, notice that this 15 is the same thing as plus 15, and this 3 is the same thing as plus 3. I hope you're following. All right. Notice also how this expression is rewritten. It is now written to be in this form. Check whether I understand what has gone on there. This plus 15 is still the way it is, but this 3 has become just 3, and this plus that precedes it has come to be the moderator or the definer of whatever happens inside this bracket. Therefore, in carrying out division, we use the sign that precedes the divisor to precede a bracket that defines what happens in the bracket. Let's continue. Again, I hope you can see how this became this. Let's continue. From here also, we get this. Why? It is now time to interpret. Plus 15 over 3 simply means, it simply means what do you get if you break having 15 into 3 equal portions? Somebody has 15 and he breaks what he has into 3 equal portions. What will each portion be? It will be having 5. That is, having 15 broken into 3 equal portions will be having 5. Then this positive, which is here, now tells us the final outcome of the process. This now that has come out of here, I believe is clear. and will lead us to the last answer. How? Positive of having 5. What is it? It is having 5 or just 5. Therefore, 15 over 3 is equal to plus 5 or just 5. Is that clear to you? All right, check if we can do this one together. This number 2. This is plus 15 over minus 3, and later minus 15 over plus 3. Let us start with this first one. That is number 2, plus 15 minus over minus 3. Can you write the next line of action, the next line of activity, especially after seeing what happened in this first line? Okay, let's do it together. And that is it. This has become this. This minus has been removed to be placed outside the common bracket as before. I hope you're following. Now this plus 15 is still where it is, but now we have 3 here without a sign. How do we get the next figure, which is this minus bracket plus 5? We get it by interpreting this thing in the bracket. How do we do it? It is negative of whatever you get in this division. If we say plus 15 over 3, one of its meanings is having 15 broken into 3 equal parts. Again, having 15 broken into 3 equal parts. If you break 15, which you have, into 3 equal parts, what are you going to have? You're going to have 5. That is plus 5 here in the bracket. But don't forget that this minus is trailing it. And that's why it is still here. I hope you now know why this became this. Let's continue. Now we interpret to get this minus 5. How? Negative of having 5 is owing 5. That's why the answer is equal to minus 5. Good enough. Now let's take the number 3 example. Minus 15 over plus 3. Again, like before, we extract this plus and place it before a common bracket. This minus 15 is still where it is, now over 3. The next thing that follows will be gotten by means of interpretation. How do we do it? Again, like before, owing 15 broken into 3 equal parts. That is, somebody is owing 15 and he breaks it into 3 equal parts. And then what do you get? Owing 5. If you break owing 15 into 3, what you get is owing 5. But don't forget that this plus had been there before, which means it is still there. Next, we interpret this expression to get the last answer. How? Positive of owing 5. That is, continue owing 5. That is why the answer is owing 5. That is minus 5. Let's see example 4. Here comes example number 4, and the last one. That is minus 15 over minus 3. That is, let this divide this. This is divisor. This is dividend. Let's continue. Like before, we extract this minus sign and place it in front or just before the common bracket, square bracket. And so this minus 15 continues to be so. This is why it is the same minus 15 here. And then over 3. What happens next, like before, will be gotten by means of interpretation of this bracket. How do we interpret it? Owing 15 broken into 3 equal parts. Owing 15 broken into 3 equal parts will be owing 5. Don't forget that this minus had been trailing it. It is still here. That is why we now have that this is equal to this. We continue. Negative of owing 5 means change from owing 5 to what? To its opposite. What is opposite of owing 5? It is having 5. That is why the answer is having 5. That is plus 5. Or just simply written 5. Now, it is time for you to check if you understood me. Check out for the following exercise. And here is a checkpoint. It says, evaluate the following division operations. They are just for a number. 30 over 5. Number 2, minus 21 over plus 3. Number 3, 35 divided by minus 7. Number 4, minus 48 divided by minus 12.